Hi guys, it is Tuesday afternoon and I'm outside because it is gorgeous right now. Little cold, but with a jacket, it looks it's nice out right now. You can kind of see Lil in the distance. There she is, laying out in the flower bed like she likes to. There's Joseph. He's sniffing around like he does. He doesn't really settle when we're outside. I don't know why. Guess there's too much to explore. All right, so we're going to read some more One and Only Ivan. I really do think we're going to finish it today, which is sad, but also exciting. So the last we left, Ivan, he was sitting up in a tree in his new domain and with the other elephant or other giraffe. With the other gorillas. Giraffes. I start to say giraffes. What? With the other gorillas. And he sees elephants. She's far away, belly deep in tall grass with others by her side. Ruby. She's here, Stella, I whisper. Ruby's safe, just like I promised. I call to Ruby, but the wind tugs at my words and I know she'll never hear me. Still, Ruby pauses for a second. Her ears spread wide like tiny sails. Then, with lumbering grace, she moves on through the grass. It's a cloudy evening, chill and drizzly. Dinner is on its way, but I don't care. At night, we sleep in our den, but I'm always the last to head inside. I've been inside long enough. This time of day, there aren't many visitors. Just a few stragglers leaning on the wall that separates us. They point, take a couple photos, then head over to the nearby giraffes. One of the keepers is beckoning. Reluctantly, I turn to go. Out of the corner of my eye, I see someone running. I pause. It's a girl with dark hair, lugging a backpack. A man. Hey! Sorry. A man follows behind, racing to catch up. Ivan, the girl yells. Ivan! It's Julia. I scramble to the edge of the wide moat that skirts the wall. Julia and George wave to me. I dash back and forth, hooting and grunting, doing a gorilla dance of happiness. Calm down, says a voice. You're behaving like a chimp. I freeze. A tiny, nut-brown, big-eared head pops out of Julia's backpack. Nice place, Bob says. Bob, I say, it's really you. In the flesh. How? Where? I can't seem to find any words. And there's the picture of Julia and Bob, and there's Bob peeking his head out. George's job at the zoo doesn't start till next month, so he and Julia made an agreement. She's walking 3 extra dogs to cover my food. And get this, they're all poodles. You said you didn't want a home, I say. Yeah, Bob says, but Julia's mom likes my company, so I figure I'm going to do everybody a favor. It's a win-win. Julia pushes Bob's head back inside her backpack. You're not supposed to be here, she reminds me. Ivan looks great, doesn't he? George asks. Stronger, happier even. Would you stop? Sorry, guys. Julia holds up a little photo, but it's too far away for me to see. It's Ruby, Ivan. She's with other elephants now. Because of you. I know, I want to tell her. I saw with my own eyes. We stare across the expanse that separates us. After a while, George pats Julia's arm. Time to go, Julia. Julia gives a wistful smile. Bye, Ivan. Say hello to your new family. She turns to George. Thank you, Dad. For what? For She gestures towards me. For this. They turn to leave. The lamps that light the zoo pathways blink on, blanketing the world with yellow light. I can just make out Bob's little head sticking out of Julia's backpack. You are the one and only Ivan, he calls. I nod, then turn toward my family, my life, my home. Mighty Silverback, I whisper. And there's the final illustration. So, while we are done, I do want to share with you an author's note. So, an author's note can come at the beginning of a book, or it can come at like the end of the book. And it's just sometimes when the author wants to write something outside of their story just to give some more information, or just kind of like a letter to the readers. So I wanted to read this to you because this author's note, like I said, can come before or at the end. This comes at the end of the book. And I had no idea until I had finished the book. So this is the author's note by our author, Catherine Applegate. The one and only Ivan is a work of fiction, but the inspiration for this imagined tale lies in a true story. Ivan, a real gorilla, lived at Zoo Atlanta, but on the way to that happy ending, he spent almost 3 decades without seeing another of his own kind. So 1 decade equals 10 years. So 3 decades, that's 30 years. After being captured as an infant in what is now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and that's in Africa, Ivan's twin sister died en route to the U.S. or shortly thereafter. Ivan was raised in a home until he became unmanageable. At that point, he was added to an odd collection of animals housed at a circus-themed mall in Washington state. Ivan spent 27 years of his life alone in a cage. Over time, an understanding of primate needs and behavior grew. Public discomfort with Ivan's lonely state grew as well, particularly after he was featured in a National Geographic special entitled The Urban Gorilla. A public outcry followed, including heartfelt letters from children. When the mall where Ivan lived went bankrupt, he was placed on permanent loan to Zoo Atlanta, which houses the largest group of captive western lowland gorillas in the nation. Ivan became a beloved celebrity at Zoo Atlanta, where he lived contentedly with Kenyani and other gorillas. He was known for his paintings, which were often signed, in parentheses, with his thumbprint. Ivan and Kenyani were real gorillas, and so, by the way, was Jumbo, whose story Stella tells to Ivan and Bob. But all the other characters and situations in this novel are entirely the product of my imagination. When I started to write about the grim facts of Ivan's solitary existence, a new tale slowly began to take shape. At least on the page, where anything is possible, I wanted to give Ivan, even while captive behind the walls of his tiny cage, a voice of his own and a story to tell. He just can't handle it. I wanted to give him someone to protect and the chance to be the mighty silverback he was always meant to be. So Ivan and Kenyani were real. The story, the rest of the story's not, though, right? Like Stella, Ruby, and of course it being from Ivan's point of view. But I thought that was so cool that Catherine Applegate, the author, took her inspiration from a true story and wrote it from a different perspective, right? Like writing it from Ivan's point of view is really cool. So, I don't know about you, and you guys can write your thoughts in the comments below this video, what your thoughts are, because this really kind of opened my eyes to ways that, just how we treat animals in general. And I think most zoos do a really nice job. Like St. Louis Zoo, I think, does a great job of trying to preserve and create a good living condition for a lot of animals that are becoming more and more endangered. But I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. If this has changed what you've thought about, you hear stories all the time about people that have, baby chimpanzees, or I'm sure y'all have heard about a show on Netflix right now about people who raise tigers in the wild, or tigers from the wild, or breed tigers. And one of the crazy things that I learned in watching that show was there are more tigers in captivity. So more tigers in captivity, like being held in zoos or wildlife preserves, being taken care of by humans than there are out in the wild. That seems kind of odd to me. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe this is if you think anything different about wildlife and, people owning exotic animals, like chimpanzees, tiger cubs, snakes, whatever. So anyway, I'm sad this is over. We're going to have to pick a new one. I'll probably post something in like a Google form where we'll pick the next book. I have a couple ideas of what we can do, some short stuff, some shorter stories, but oh, my nose itches. But anyway, so this was good. I will tell you that a movie is coming out later this year about the one and only Ivan, the movie version. And there is a sequel that Catherine Applegate has written called The One and Only Bob. So it's a brand new story, a sequel to this, but it's written from Bob's point of view. So I can't wait. I don't know if it's been released yet. I don't know if it's been released yet or not, but I'm definitely going to order it to put in my classroom. And I just want to read it because I think this was an awesome story. I loved it so much. I hope you guys did too. All right, see you guys later.